I can't be certain, but I think dating is broken. After a messy breakup, I found myself single for the first time in 2.5 years. I'm no stranger to dating apps. I met my last 3 partners on there, for realsies, so having a swipe through Tinder seemed only natural. I'd always been an advocate of dating apps. I thought they were a great way to broaden the probability of you meeting someone rather than just hoping you'd stumble across the one down your local. I mean, my no ex-fiancé and I were going to have a Tinder wedding cake, FFS. Every time someone would complain about being single, I'd reply, probably quite smugly, that they need to get on Tinder. And every time I was met with an eye roll and a diatribe about how awful they were and how many weirdos were on there. I sympathized, I did. But in reality, I'd had a pretty drama-free overall experience with dating apps. No dick pics, no catfishing, no ghosting. My experience with dating generally involved a couple of weeks of messages, then a series of successful dates which naturally turned into relationships. Needless to say, my dalliance with dating this time around has been a little different. I don't think I can necessarily blame all this on the demise of dating apps. I may have just been luckier back then. But something I've noticed since I've become single is how disposable people seem to think others are. That feels like a recent shift. The plethora of flirting opportunities on social media platforms is aplenty, and it seems to create this detached idea of the person you're talking to. Suddenly ghosting someone doesn't seem like a big deal when you've met on an app. Doesn't matter if you've been on dates, slept together, or met their flipping mum. For some, it just seems like the other person is still just some pixels on a screen. And it's not just ghosting that's an issue. More than ever, I've noticed that people have more of a blasé attitude about cheating. I spent an entire evening kissing and chatting to one guy, only for him to turn around at midnight and say he had a long-term girlfriend. A girlfriend that he lived with. Like a big cheating Cinderella. Look, I'm not saying cheating or acting like a general DC kid is new. But does anyone else get the distinct impression that it's become more prevalent? Maybe I've been totally naive and dating has always been a shit show, but I'm not convinced. Where has common decency gone? What happened to manners? I've dipped my toe in the dating pool to see what's out there and have some drinks with attractive and interesting men. What I've found, with few exceptions, is a desolate wasteland of inappropriate messages and ghosting. I know I'm not alone in this because every time I mention dating to my single female friends, I'm met with an emphatic, "Oh my god, I know even if you're not looking for anything serious, there is literally no excuse for not acting like a decent human." Having trouble understanding what constitutes being a decent human? Here's a few tips to get you started. Don't fancy seeing your date again. Tell them the truth in a kind way. Don't just disappear off the face of the earth. Don't fancy your date at all. Don't just leave halfway through, obviously. No one wants an unsolicited dick pic. Ask questions to show your interest in your date. You know, like how normal conversations work. General politeness is encouraged after doing the deed. Yes, even when it's just a one-night stand. Working in social media, I'm obviously not here to tear it down. But I do wonder whether our obsession with digital communication is having a dehumanizing effect. People are still people, whether you meet them from behind a screen or actually IRL. Let's make a solid effort to remember this. I think we need to turn dating off and on again, you guys. More dear dudes. Catcalling and talking to women are not the same thing. More Tinder launches new reactions feature that lets you respond when you can't be bothered to type more. The link between depression and anxiety.